So it seems to me that you guys have a sense of who Holly and Steve are a little more. You've probably either worked with them, been introduced to them at another point. I'm kind of new, so I'm going to give just a slight bit more. So my name is Jasmine Partida. I actually went to school for technical theater for design and production management. I decided I wanted to travel the country, so I would move, sometimes 3, sometimes 6 months, to New York or Connecticut or Philadelphia, Florida, and I would, when I got to the new town, I would start marketing myself to whatever theater and film companies were in the area. And over the course of doing that around the country, I've learned an incredible amount of how people want to be marketed to and what people are looking for. When I moved back to the Bay Area, I started working at a higher level. So I was one of the top scenic artists in the Bay Area, one of the top 5 non-union. No, oh. I have a picture. So that backdrop, the one with the sky, for example, that's 30 by 50 feet, and it takes me about 6 days.
Wow. What is it for?
That is for Peter Pan. This is the opening nursery scene. This is some of the stone carving that I did for Aida. It was an opera in Walnut Creek. So I've worked with Festival Opera, Opera San Jose. I've worked at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. I've worked a lot of places. So it turns out, though, paint dry time is a real thing. So when you base a drop like that backdrop there, that one's actually 60 by 40, you've got a good 3 hours of dry time. I'm not somebody who's going to sit around, so I ended up helping with marketing collateral. I ended up helping create concepts in the office during my dry times. So over the course of both of my lives, I've come together with marketing. So what I do now is that I help small businesses. As an independent contractor, as an actor,
They like that.
the car is very pleased.
Yes.
No, she's trying. But you are your own, oh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, you are your own business. So you have your own expenses, you have to pay for your own website, your own headshots, all those things, right? Having been a small business owner myself, coming from a family of small business owners, the fact that a small business has to budget $13,000 on average a year for a website horrifies me. It's unnecessary, it's stressful, it's a lot of money for a small business. And often a web designer will hold that design. So if you feel like you want to break up with them, you don't own the website. You own the domain, you own the content, but now you have to find somebody else to pay to hire to rebuild it. So something that I've started doing is going around and helping small businesses. I build the site for them, they own the design, they own the content, and then I teach them how to use it. Some people don't want to run their own website, but if you want to be able to go on and make changes, put up new headshots, those are things that I empower small businesses to do themselves. So that's a little bit about what I do. So we're here to talk about branding. Can somebody pick a picture and tell me about that logo?
The apple.
Okay, what does the apple say?
It says someone took a bite out of me.
Fair enough. But what is the company Apple? When you see that logo, what do you think of?
Computers, yeah.
What about Google?
Search anything.
Search. The dude at the bottom.
Baseball.
Baseball. And it's probably American baseball, right? The weird little flick.
Oh, nice. Just do it.
Starbucks. It's not just coffee.
Great coffee.
Great coffee. It is the best coffee. These companies sat down and spent probably a couple years even, coming up with concepts and deciding what 3 or 4 keywords they wanted you to think of when you saw their logo, when you think of their company. You guys have to do the same thing. What are the 2 or 3 words that you want people to think of when they see you or hear your name? What are they going to associate you with? With me, it's art, marketing, results. Those are my 3. They're everywhere. So make a conscious choice and pick them. You might not put them out there the way that I have, but know that you're going to be using them. Your name is your brand. It's not a little, when you work for Starbucks, you represent Starbucks when you're there, and then you go home, you can hate Starbucks at home all you want. But when you are your brand, every person you talk to, you are representing your brand. If you get upset, if you're tired, if you didn't get enough sleep and you kind of fall apart a little bit on set, if you're always late, anything you do reflects on your brand. And that includes anything you put out online. So you need to really consciously think about that. Every person you talk to, you are interviewing with. Every conversation, at a party, at the store, everybody you're talking to is an interview. And that has gotten me very, very far. Hello. So, okay. More specifically though, do you guys know what it means to have a personal brand? Does that make sense to you? We've kind of talked about it here today. A little bit. So like, what is Tom Hanks' personal brand?
Comedian, funny himself, versatile.
Versatile.
Yeah. Oscar winner.
I'm sorry?
Oscar winner. I mean, he has won so many Oscars.
Yes. He's a high quality actor. He's very down to earth. Seems like he'd be nice to work with. Seems like he'd be professional. He strikes me as somebody who's very, very solid, right? Audrey Hepburn.
Elegant, class.
Hot.
Yeah, she's yummy for sure. Jim Carrey. As a child, this used to really irritate me. I'm like, he made this choice. Like he decided to make this his brand, and it just killed me as a kid. As an adult, I get it a little more. He has gone 30 years looking like this successfully. It's unbelievable to me. But character actors are just as important as your main leads. They move the plot along just as much. They give energy to the films just as much. So Mel Gibson's brand.
Good looking.
Yeah.
Short.
Short. Is he?
Debonair. A detective? Kind of.
Handsome.
But I also don't want him on my set.
Oh, no.
He has a
Yeah.
problem.
I didn't want to
Short temper.
No, I do. This man has not. He went through a good 10 years there where he did not watch his brand.
Wow.
Neither did she.
Oh, and she was good.
And she's amazing. This is Lindsay Lohan.
She was good.
Parent Trap Part 2. She was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was good.
This was a while ago.
She was in Teenage Drama Queen. She was good.
Yeah, she was good. But she didn't watch her brand.
She did not.
So who would you rather work with? Audrey Hepburn or Lindsay Lohan? Right? Tom Hanks or Mel Gibson? Right. I mean, it's almost ridiculous. So the reality is the stronger your brand is, the faster those decisions come from the casting directors as well. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So step one is deciding how you want to be thought of. Do you want to be thought of as elegant? Do you want to be thought of as a strong character? Do you want to be thought of as someone who's versatile? Know what that is and very seriously decide to put yourself out there that way. It'll line up your headshots, it'll line up your website, it'll line up any emails you send. Make sure that they're all within your brand. And the more attention you pay to those details, the more it comes together and becomes a strong, well-rounded representation of who you are putting out there. Does that make sense? Okay. So fun to work with. Example is Jennifer Lawrence. I seriously want to work with her. Just after work even. She seems like fun. Mike Myers, strong character actor. Woody Allen for Art House. Whatever it is, make it strong and stick with it. So okay, and then clean up your brand. This is my favorite. People go, I have a brand, this is my brand. I've got a logo, I've got letterhead, I'm done. No, Google doesn't think so. So there's a right way and a wrong way to Google yourself. But you have to Google yourself because negative branding is still branding. Information that other people put out there is still branding. So you have to, first off, sign out of all of your social accounts. Sign out of all of your emails, everything. Clear your browser history, and if you have Chrome, you can actually open an incognito search tab and then search your name. Go through a minimum of 3 pages. Look for anything anyone has ever put up. If something is wrong, call the company and have them fix it. If it is a picture where you were falling off stairs, you're in the background, you look ridiculous, have them take it off. Companies will respect that if you respectfully ask. And to some extent, they really are required to do that. Find your social media profiles when they don't know you're looking. When you're incognito, when you're signed in at a different computer, when it's a computer that you've never been on your social accounts with. See what pictures come up. One of my brother's friends is a fireman. Sweet man, very sweet. He spends hours volunteering all over the state. He lost a job 2 years ago because one of his friends put up a picture on their Facebook account of him doing things with there's a beer and a bong, or there was something. Beer bong? Yeah, beer bong. Yeah, it's a thing, I guess, right? I'm old, I don't know. But I know that his friend put it up, and not just put it up, but tagged him in the photo. So what that meant was it came up on his Facebook searches, and he did not get that job.
Wow.
The fire station didn't know how old the photo was. It was 6 years old. They didn't know if he always parties. They didn't know how much trouble he would be. They didn't hire him. So not only are you going to look through your social media, you need to search yourself under images. If people tag you in a photo, if companies have used your picture, maybe a blog that you wrote once, and it won't come up necessarily in the blog, but it might come up in the photo that you sent them to use with the blog. You never know. Keep it clean and watch it constantly. The other thing is variations of your name. People might spell it wrong, or with me, I like to change mine. I've changed it a couple times. So always search all the variations of spelling, or first, middle, last, first, last. You never know what variation might be out there, and really do some detective work on this. So that's your first step. The next thing is anything you saw on your profiles, fix them. If your whole Facebook account, if people can see it when they're not friends with you, change those settings, take off those photos. Because the reality is they are looking. And I've been in rooms where people are having conversations, well, she had good chemistry and he did this, and I'm sitting over there trying to move the conversation along. I'm Googling these people. I'm like, no. And we're seeing things online that we don't want on our sets.
You might be about to say this, but it's important to not allow photos. I was told by a great makeup artist once, it's better to have 3 amazing pictures in your portfolio than 30 really bad ones. So don't have that whole, smattering of photos at a party and everything on your social media. Be choosy about your image on social media.
I don't know how many times I've been sent. A lot of people think that we're an agency, and we were many years ago, but people still submit photos, and there's a lot of this. Red cups in the air, right? And because that's all they have.
Sorry, yes.
No, it's fine.
And I feel
Absolutely.
bad that, if an agent was receiving these, they would eject them immediately. That's not a marketing photo.
The other thing that people forget about is Google. I actually love Google, but they let you put a picture up on your Gmail, right? Everybody you email from there can see that picture. They can see any pictures you put into Google Photo. So search yourself. You could send an email to a friend and then have them pull it up. Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll email my husband and then on his work computer, I'll look through and see what Google is showing him so that I can clean it up. I lost a job a year and a half ago. Somebody said, hey, I want to hire you, send us your resume to my company. I said, okay, sure, whatever. I was working, I really wasn't thinking about it. Turned out it was a $90,000 job a year. I lost it because my LinkedIn did not match my resume.
Wow.
I'm okay, but it was certainly a moment where I went home and opened some wine. So step 3 is creating a positive image. So you want to pull together your headshots. You want to pull together a website. You want to pull together your social media. And it's not just about cleaning it up. It's about putting positive items out there. Is your Facebook, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later, is your Facebook also where you're having casting directors friend you, or agencies, or have you joined groups on Facebook about actors, Bay Area actors? If that Facebook represents you, you need to be sharing posts about this great seminar I went to. I guess that's a little self-serving. It was really awesome, yeah. Or the idea that showing that you're getting an education, showing that you're working on skills, showing that you're interested in the art. Look at this, I saw this movie and then here's a write-up I read about it and you're just sharing it on Facebook. Create some positive energy around your brand as well. Does that make sense? Okay. Why I love websites. I love websites. It has been so amazing to watch the website journey from the last 15 years. It used to be something that, you know, when I first got on the line, it was like there was Yahoo, right? There was AOL, and you couldn't have your own website. You couldn't even get anything out there. And now it's become so accessible, and we really need to utilize that. It is a chance for you to 100% control how you are outputting your image. What photos are out there, what information about your headshots is out there, your stats, everything you want to put out. This is an opportunity for you to create your brand. It's almost a waste not to have one. You can showcase yourself at your best. You're not reliant that on chance that a casting director might find it on somebody else's website and you don't know what it is. You've sent them the link. If you use your domain name as your name or some variation of your name that's very close, like Jasmine Partida Arts, I will come up in Google searches and they will find it. And it's a positive thing for them to see. And it allows you space to shape your brand and your voice. Okay, so website trends. 75% of websites are now mobile. So that's something to remember. It's either a tablet or a phone, 70 to 75%, somewhere in there. And it's going up all the time. So any website you have has to be responsive or most of your audience won't be able to see your page. So it's something to really put at the top. As far as trends, a wide layout, I'll show you examples of this in a minute. And then a one-page scroll is another big one. And this is huge, again, because of the mobile, because instead of having to go back up to the top, find the next page, go through the menu, it's one scroll on your phone and you can scroll for eternity. Your phone doesn't care how long you're scrolling. It's all the information in a line right there. Another one is parallax scroller, which is just snazzy, and I'll show you a couple. Animated visuals, clean and bright layouts. There's, if you want to see where designs of websites are going, follow some of the higher level Instagram accounts because they almost always mirror where those are going. Instagram is bright, it's light, it's clean. There's so much marketing done to us now. There's so much input and visuals, and our TV flashes things constantly, which I've written them about repeatedly. What we want when we go online is we want cleanliness. We want something that's easy to see, easy to read, and it feels light and fresh. That's the market right now. Less verbiage. We don't want to read. We just want the facts, right? We don't want to hear we don't want to read your whole life story. We want minimal. And you want the big shout outs. Join today, over here. The big shout outs that you see on websites. And then again, most importantly, mobile ready. So I pulled the websites up, but I'm not sure how to, they're in order. So it starts with Altamont. I pulled them up on the, yeah. Okay, Altamont Creek. Super excited, my kids start here on Monday. Their website makes me cry. It is busy. I could not find the bell schedule. It took me 20 minutes to find the bell schedule, which might not seem like a lot, but I have things to do, you know? There's a lot of information. It's all over the place.
Words.
There's a lot of words. Oh, cool. Oh, wait, there's a video from the principal. Like, that's a call out. Like, okay, so that I actually clicked on. That was the only thing that caught my eye. Followed by the picture of the principal, I suppose. But you can see how it's busy. The other thing that it is, it's not wide. So they've got it. It's called boxed layout. So it's okay, right? It's not offensive. I mean, to me it is a little bit, but it's not technically offensive to most people. So then can you go to Moreau? Oh, actually, I opened them up here. Okay. So this is another school.
Ooh, movement.
There's movement. If you scroll down for me a little bit, there's broken up information. It's boxed. You can find what you're looking for very quickly. There's call outs. And if you want to read more and go to those pages, you can. They're both schools. They're both in Bay Area, even, not even Northern California. But one of them is wide, bright, with call outs, and the other one, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Okay, so then Wells Fargo. So what is your first thought when you see this? Like
Commercial models working.
Nice. That's not what I see, but yes. What I see is a very established older brand that's kind of a heavier banking feeling brand. This is where my grandfather feels comfortable, is in this brand, right? He's very pleased here. So then can you go to simple for me? This is another bank. So then if you scroll slowly, see, now there's your parallax scroller. See how it moves with the scroll motion. It seems so complicated, it's very easy. And then if you keep going, it's basically a one-page website. It tells you everything you need to know on this first page. It's clean, it has a little interest, it's wide, it's new, it's fresh, it's trendy. And then when you get into the details of the website, it's been around for a while. Its whole goal is to not be like other banks. That's this bank's mission statement, is to be different than the other banks. Okay? Okay, so then could you go to mine for me? It's next, yeah. Okay, so did anybody go to the front page of mine when you signed up? Did you? Okay. So as you scroll, again, it's wide. It's a parallax scroller. Yeah. Gotta scroll a little faster. Okay. So keep going. So this is another version of a parallax scroller. And I've actually put these things on here just to show people that I designed my whole website as an example. It's one page. It has movement, it has interest, it has call outs. And everything you need to know about my company is here on one page. And then I immediately allow them to fill out a form right there and contact me. If somebody wants to reach out, they can do it in a couple minutes. They just have to prove they're not a robot. So does that make sense? Can you see the differences in brands? And so every one of these websites has made a choice as to what they want people to know about them. Altamont School doesn't care. And I just registered with them. They don't care. Their process is, I did not. I just wanted to finish the registration. Their process is what it is. It's slow. You have to keep pulling information out of them, and their website is very, very much that way. They're sweet people, but it's work from my end to register with that school and to find information on their website. For Moreau Catholic, they want you to come. They want you to do a tour. They have made it easy for you to do that. Wells Fargo doesn't necessarily sell me on them with their website. I don't know if it does for you, maybe it does. This is very passive. We're here if you want to sign in. Simple wants you to go to them, and I think you can see the differences in those. So when you're doing your own brand, you need to think about what kind of website you want, or even just what kind of image you want out there. Do you want something that says, I'm here, I'm working, I'm present, I'm very excited, these are my recent projects, here's my blog about the things I've been doing? Or do you want something that you're just waiting for it to be out there? So, okay, cool. Can you go back to the slideshow for me? Okay, cool. So the wide layout we saw, the one-page scroll is what I have on my website. The parallax scrolling, I said that, and yeah. The wide layout, the one page, this parallax scrolling. The animated visuals is when you scroll and it's the words moving just slightly. Clean, bright, less verbiage. And more importantly, all of these look good on mobile ready, with the exception of Altamont. So then, the last thing I want to talk to you about was social media. One of the things that I see actors do a lot is they can't seem to figure out if their Facebook page is to hang out with their friends, or if it's their business one, or they kind of do I want to have a following on it? I don't know. And instead of making a strong decision, they just kind of go back and forth on it. I call all of them, I promise. All my friends that do that. So make a strong choice. If you want to have a Facebook page, if you need two, that's a choice. Make one that's private, that your friends are on. Put the settings very high on privacy so nobody can see your images when they're searching you for business. And then make one that is your image and your brand. And it can have very similar things on it because you're the same person. But keep that one clean and neat and searchable. Facebook is great in some ways because it is automatically SEO. It comes up in the top of searches for anybody's name. They've worked very hard on that. It's free SEO is what Facebook and Twitter are. Twitter just started doing it this year.
Does everyone know what SEO means?
Search engine optimization.
That's right. So search engine optimization, thank you, that's a really good point. Search engine optimization is the idea that search engines can find you easily. So it's Bing, Yahoo, Google. Those are the main ones. It's passive. It's not paying for it. You're not putting any money into it. It's just when they are looking for terms, yours line up. Does that make sense? Okay. So learn about your settings on your social media accounts so that you know where you want them and how you're going to use them. When you share from another account, I always do Board Panda. It's a great follow them. They're lovely. I always share from them onto my Partida Creative one, but before I share onto any of my business accounts, I go through as much of their scroll as I can. Because if 2 pages down, they've got something too saucy, I can't share from that account at all. Because if I share from them, and I send somebody to their website, one of my clients, and there's something too saucy and their kids are there, I may have lost at least some connection. They might unfollow me. I don't know to what level I will lose that connection. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a personal, very, very private Facebook page, but I allow some of I just finished my first feature film and now it's in post-production. And so people are wanting to, from the set, are wanting to be my friend. I don't necessarily want that because it's my private page, but I wouldn't mind having a more professional page where people that I network with in the industry can join in. I can still be personable.
Right.
My name is Kiana Jameson on my page, on my personal page. How would I still have people search me? Would I say Kiana Jameson actress from my professional page?
You can do that.
I mean,
I switched my name so that mine's Jasmine Part Shep. My maiden name Shepler, and now I'm a Partida, so I'm Part Shep. So I did it so it's not searchable. Nobody's going to check Jasmine Part Shep unless this video gets out. No. But so what I did is I actually switched my name on my personal page so that if I want to use my name, it always stays professional because my name is my brand.
because people.
So I do, so I have Partida Creative, right? So that's my secondary. But if you wanted your name and you are your brand, then you should have your professional page definitely be your name. So maybe switch your other name, just a little.
I'm asking because I'm not trying to take up too much time, but when you meet people and you give them your name, like on my IMDb page, it says my first and last name.
Sure.
But I don't want people necessarily trying to contact me on my personal page through IMDb. And so I'm trying to think of a name that they can still say Kiana Jameson and still know it's me, but not be in my personal page. I only post recipes and stuff like that on my page.
You should use your real name for a professional Facebook account.
Right.
So you should probably have two, is what I'm saying. And then the other one, you make it private, but you might switch your name on that so it's a little more hidden from search engines.
Okay. We'll talk.
Yeah. No, does that make sense to anybody?
Yeah, because on the personal one, everyone knows you. It's all your friends and family, right?
And it's friends only.
Right, so if you change your last name to something where you just put a letter rather than your last name, they don't care.
Yeah.
Professionally, you need to have your
Full name.
full name.
I have one friend whose name is Frolinger, so his name is Fro on his Facebook page. He has no hair. It's hilarious.
Are you talking about doing leaving your current page to be private?
Yes.
For your friends?
Right.
and then what you should do for your actor's page.
So the actors needs to be your real name.
It needs to be your real name, but it can be actor, like your name, actor before it or after it.
Like in parentheses, say
It-
after.
Yeah, but there's still.
Or should she just
Should-
do a follow? Should she do a what do you call it, page, not a friend page, but you know, what's it called?
Like like an organization page,
Business
a
page?
business page, yeah.
Well, a business page, but you know.
'Cause then people
you
are
can do it for
following.
people too.
Yeah.
Actors have them, that you can like them, follow them. Maybe it makes time for that.
Yeah, absolutely, especially to keep it kind of clean.
Yeah.
And it is really hard because you do a film and it's a family now. It's so exciting. That was 30 friend requests I got today. Yeah. So there is that element of how to keep your private and your public divided. And I send people to the other one as much as possible. Any other questions around that? Yeah, no, not at all. So sharing from other accounts, if you're going to share, always check the other account. That's especially true on Twitter. Twitter, it's so easy to retweet. That's such a great button, super fast. You've got to check those other accounts because they represent you as much as what you're posting. Anything you repost or retweet onto your page, now it's on your page and it represents you. So you need to be very aware of what that account really represents, not just that one tweet they had about the Giants or whatever it was. Okay? Commenting counts also. If you comment on somebody else's page, that comes up in people's news feeds. This is a big one. People get really casual because the farther down the comment chain they go. Maybe you've replied to reply to reply, and you think it's hidden. I can see it. Facebook is showing it to me. They've pulled it out to make sure I see it. Isn't that thoughtful? Be very careful about what you're commenting. It needs to stay within your brand voice. The other thing is quality versus quantity. Interestingly, my social media right now for Partida Creative, because I run social media, it's very hard to go home and do social media. It's very hard to do my own. So it's a little low. So I don't have a lot of quantity on it, but everything I put on it, I try to make sure is quality. And so even if you scan through it, you still get a good sense of what the company stands for, I think. Does that make sense? Okay. So do you have any questions about websites, social media, online? Yeah.
So I wish I was at your point because I didn't. So I have, I think, almost 800 friends on online. So I am very aware of keeping it clean and what goes up there. But I also, I know that it would behoove me just to put all my auditions and just the acting. But I also know it's my main way to let my mom know and my dad know where I happen to be in the world because I also do a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So in many ways, it covers all my traveling and my acting. I know that dilutes some of the message that I want to get out there, but I don't know at this point how to separate it because I still do get jobs from Facebook. They are diluted, so I wish I was where we were because now I don't know how to separate them.
See, I actually think you just need to go the other direction and make that your professional one. Call mom and tell her you're inviting her to you're sending her a friend request because there's probably less people that you're going to put on that one anyway, right?
Yeah,
so that's the easier move to make. And if you let people know, you can even send them a message from the one you're using now and say, hey, just so you know, this has gotten really kind of become my professional one, so I'm going to make a personal one, and I'll send you a friend request later today. So they know it's coming, they know it's not fake, and they don't think that somehow you accidentally weren't friends for a while, and I thought we were friends. Let them know that it's coming.
So then I have Healy Durbin, the actor page, because someone went some workshop years ago and said I had to have that. It's only like 136. Should I close that one so then I just have this one?
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's two.
Yeah, because they're both coming up, and then it kind of, did you stop acting? Did you stop networking? What did you do? It raises some questions. So the cleaner you can be, the better. Yeah. Any other questions?
Can I bring up one thing?
Yeah.
If you're a mom and you have a child actor, you're the administrator. Your child's probably not going to do this. So being very aware, make it very clear. Mom is managing this account. right? Because your child's wall is out there, you never know what's going to happen. Be very diligent about watching, seeing any kind of requests, you know, and all the same things hold true. Be active, be positive. You know, the travel log and everything has to do with the child positive image put there. Be careful that it's not a mommy site. Like, isn't you know little Susie cute at that ride at Disneyland? You know, it might be so that could
Still has to be
separate.
professional. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
I'm sure you can continue with that.
Kids are a hard one, absolutely, because they also hit that point where they want to take it over because social media is more intuitive the younger you are. My brother and I are 10 years apart. The technology change in those 10 years is unbelievable. He picked up Snapchat and was 20 minutes. I had a friend sit me down. I'm like, I don't understand. So kids want to take it and own it, and anything they post is on there and is almost impossible to get rid of later. Especially with Twitter is a really hard one to get rid of things later. Facebook puts things in the archive. It's hard to get rid of. So if you have one for your children, you need to be very aware of what that voice is and then start teaching them how to take it over. So make sure you understand that process and you understand the balance of that page, and then slowly hand it over and monitor the heck out of it.
Last
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I want questions.
I have a professional 9-to-5 job, and I'm really trying to transition over into acting full-time because this is my career.
Right.
But I still need to pay bills. And so having that acting webpage, my coworkers can log on and, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're doing that, and that can ultimately affect any kind of promotional opportunities I might have on my job, you know, just to pay the bills right now, or maybe even affect my current work situation, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times companies, they want you to only be faithful and loyal to them only, and if you're doing something on the side, then they might start treating you, and I've experienced this a certain way. Once they find out that you're really acting, they might start just kind of making the work environment kind of hostile for you. It's just the fact, you know.
I'm not
So
arguing,
how would you
yeah.
recommend that I want to put myself out there for casting directors and opportunities, but at the same time, I don't want to make a very uncomfortable work situation for myself. I mean, you know what I mean?
I do know. That's a hard one. One thought that I have though is spin. So it's
I'm sorry, 'cause I don't talk about my acting at my work. None of your business really because of what I just said.
I think she needs a website to point people to versus.
instead of Facebook. Yeah, that's certainly some of it. But if you get questions also, do you get questions about it? Is that what you mean? Or are you afraid you will?
People on my job kind of suspect that I do stuff because if you're very pretty, the way you behave, you know, you should be an actress or a model, you know, do you do that? I already get questions already. And so I try to kind of get them out my business.
Mm-hmm.
But people are starting to, and then my movie is coming out, and that's just going to blow the whole cover. You know?
Okay, that I can't help with.
Right. I'm glad it's coming out, but at the same time, I'm trying to,
Yeah.
you know.
So, okay. So how do you control your image if you're working a job? That can be tricky, and there's a couple different things you can do. One, definitely like Steve said, having a website that you're sending someone to specifically is great. The casting directors and whatnot. But the other side of that is when you get questions, say, yeah, you know what? It's my new hobby on Saturdays. It's my new thing that I like to do Thursday nights. There's this acting group and I'm just really enjoying it. And it's a fun, people will take it as seriously as you present it. So if you present it as something that's very serious career change you're making, they're gonna take it as she's making this very serious career change. If you present it as, this is this thing I'm exploring and I'm having fun with, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, we all are allowed to do that. Yeah, I think it's presentation is a lot of it, and how you kind of spin those questions. And that's really hard, and that's true for anybody making a career change in any, not even acting, that's everybody trying to make a career change. We all struggle with that. Absolutely. Does that help?
Yes, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? I know it's a lot, but clean up your brand, own your brand, and then create positive energy around your brand.